What's up, guys? Today we're just going to take a look at the difference between Alpha, Beta, Unlimited Revised, and 4th and 5th edition. So these two Scathe zombies, they are Alpha and Beta. On first glance, they are identical. So it's kind of tricky to tell them apart, especially unless you don't have something to compare them to. The only real way to tell Alpha from Beta is if you line them up like this. The Alpha card is actually shaped slightly differently. It's kind of hard to tell against a black border, so let's grab a white border card here. So we can line them up like this, and we can see the Alpha card. The corners are a little more round there, so you can actually see a standard size Magic card through the back like that. A lot of people will mistakenly tell you that Alpha corners are square, like this guy right here. And this does make things a little more complicated because it's another variable that, aside from the corners, is pretty much identical until you flip this over. And we have a gold border that says Collector's Edition pretty clearly on here. So in person, it's pretty easy to tell these apart. In photos, it gets a little complicated, especially with the misinformation there. So Alpha and Beta, pretty much the same. Pay attention to the shape of the card. That's really the easiest way to tell these guys apart. But if you have black border with no set symbol and no other info, you're looking at either Alpha or Beta. So Unlimited and Revised can honestly be a little bit trickier to tell apart. Same deal, we got Scathe zombies here. On the left we have Unlimited, on the right we have Revised. So you can kind of see it's partially the lighting in here, but the inking on the Unlimited card at the left is a little bit darker. Revised cards tend to be a little bit lighter. Another thing that is a little more obvious to me most often is you can see here on the Unlimited, if it'll focus, there's actually like a separate black border here before it goes into the white border, whereas the Revised kind of just goes from like the typical Magic like card back here straight into that white border. Another thing, and probably the most obvious for me, is if I can get it in here, you can see the Unlimited card. The wording over here actually starts a little bit closer to the edge. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but in person it's a little more apparent. In Revised, they kind of shifted everything a little bit more to the right there. So it's tricky. That's usually how I can tell the difference there. Another thing that can be pretty apparent is Alpha, Beta, Unlimited didn't actually use the tap symbol. So in this like Beta Island, for example, it actually says tap to add blue to your mana pool, which anything afterwards is going to have a tap symbol kind of like this. Anything with tap effects on Unlimited versus Revised is going to have the tap symbol right here, whereas Unlimited will actually just say tap. Revised also did a little bit of cleaning up on the text. You can sometimes check out Gatherer. They kind of streamlined a lot of like the more wordy cards to be a little more legible. So sometimes that helps. But just to run back through, you can see the darker border right here. It's kind of like a secondary border on Unlimited. And also the text is a little bit scooted over here in addition to being a little darker. So now we're looking at 4th and 5th edition. Aside from the art being a little different on these zombies, it's pretty apparent the differences. So the biggest thing is if you have a white border card that has no set symbol, but it has collector info right here, or copyright info rather. If it says 1995 on there and doesn't have a set symbol, you're going to be looking at a 4th edition card. Same with this guy here. 1997, no set symbol. This is going to be 5th edition. 6th edition is actually even easier to tell because they started using set symbols. So 6th edition, 7th, 8th, whatever. It's going to be pretty easy to identify with this little guy here. One thing that is a little tricky is some of the Chronicles stuff. So this guy right here has a set symbol, which would lead you to believe that this is from Fallen Empires, or I'm sorry, Homelands. But it also has a white border. So Chronicles reprinted cards with the set symbol. The only difference is the white border. So if it has a set symbol with a white border, I don't want to say always, but generally it's going to be from Chronicles, unless it's like 6th edition, 7th, or like a core set, where it is just a reprint only set. If it's white border, it's not the original printing, it's a reprint. That's a pretty easy way to tell. But Chronicles does have the original set symbol also, which gets kind of confusing if you don't know. Beyond that, some of the newer stuff that can be a little confusing for people, I didn't bother to pull any out, just so I don't have a ton laying around. But the mystery booster cards and stuff from the list, if you ever open up like a newer booster pack and there's a card that doesn't have the right set symbol, if you look into the bottom left corner, like what's on screen right now, you'll find a little Planeswalker symbol. And I see a lot of people being confused about that in groups. That means it's from either the list or mystery boosters. Usually the list. It's just kind of like a Wizards promo thing and a way to get reprints into the game. Yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching.